Hi, how's it in the name of Christ? How you doing? It's your girl Crancake Karabo. I hope you're good. I hope you're peachy. I hope you're Stella, and I hope you're in a neat little bunch. I'm gonna be spraying my hair right now, so it is what it is. Yes, I am unraveling these because they were not supposed to stay raveled in the first place. Let me just put some caveats out there. Captions. They are not always accurate. Please look out for that. Sometimes they also use a small G for God, so they're not reverent. Look out for that. Look out also for the fact that they are misspelled or something, whatever. Look, they're not accurate. I don't have time to edit them. I don't have anybody to help me along, so we just keep them there. Plus, I don't have the energy. One day's one day, should the Lord allow. Secondly, I very potentially may be wearing application makeup. If I am, you will know. Okay, like I've got underarm hairs, I'm suffering. My life is really hard, so I don't care to shave. If you're disturbed by that, it is what it is. Disturbances happen all around me 24/7. Okie dokie, my mini braid circumstance up tops. That's what it's out here giving. That's what it's out here doing. Let us spritz it. Let us spray it. Do I like them when they're like this, or should I just leave them? These are gonna get old, I can tell. And when they get old, I'm gonna feel some kind of way. But I don't care, because I'm keeping them for 3 months. We want the hair to grow. Okay, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm also human, but I've just been touching my very oily hair. So we are not trying to touch our faces, given that we've got like acne for a problem. Okay, I'll style these after I spray. Okay, yeah. What's up? Today's the 31st of January 2024. Yes. It's just any other random day in these streets. This is my carrot spray, the one with the aloe whatnot portion of it that was put in the deep freezer type establishment thing, so it's been preserved, but now it smells like the product of the bottle that was in the fridge, the store-bought. Okay, we're not gonna go in too much with this. Remember, this is an experiment, so for those reasons, we are testing it right here in front of you, like it's going, like, I don't know, as if though this is ever gonna go anyway, this content. If it works, you'll know, because my hair will be growing and growing. Okay, no, I'm not gonna be putting oil on this. Guys, you know, there's a lot going on that's just really nasty. Y'all, I do apologize. I'm gonna take this spritz back to the fridge because I don't want it going off quickly, because I'm not trying to make this every day or second day or whatever. So just wait a minute. Thankfully, the camera that I'm recording from pauses. Hey, what's up? Could you tell that we paused? Bet not. Why? Because we paused. That's it. Anyhow, how shall we style this? I don't know, like, does it really matter? Am I gonna keep on doing this with these? I feel like these are so skinny, but like, who cares? I liked what I had done there. Anyway, y'all, I feel strange. I feel sad, like, all the time. I feel harassed, lambasted. I wish I had bobby pins, but I don't. So this here is just gonna be kept together. Just like that. What is that? What is that? We do not want funny little things just kind of sticking around. I don't know. I like fringes, y'all. The French. We used to call them French in South Africa, because, like, that's just how we pronounced it. Yeah, I prefer them. I can already peen. I can say, should I just, let me just, okay. To just do whatever they want to do. Nah, you can't just leave hair to do whatever it wants to do on your head. You have to tame it, like, handle it, tell it to sit like a nice little doggy. Because if it doesn't sit, you're in trouble. Yeah. Okay, I think we'll stick with that. And some grabby hands. The less I'm in the hair, the more or the faster we get to a particular point. Already, my hair over here is feeling soft, so good. Alrighty. Okay, cool. What shall we say? Let's move that out the way so we're not distracted. And I hope I don't get acne just because these things are like chilling on my face like proper. I never used to have such sensitive skin where every second day I'm breaking out into something. Like, I thoroughly blame everything that's happening on the tribulation I'm going through. Yeah, I do not think I would be this acne prone if I was not in the situation Anywho, I feel obsolete. Thank you very much. That's the word. I'm sad, I'm broken, I'm devastated. Okay, I need a fan. Every time I switch off the fan in this joint, I promise you, I enter into some kind of abysmal heat, and it's just so rough to deal. Anyway, yeah, okay, look, I feel obsolete, like obsolescence, as in end of myself, end of my life, as in flatline, we are done, as in there's nothing left here to work with. And that's exactly what people want me to feel like, to get to, in order to finally settle and compromise. Well, congratulations, I do. I feel obsolete, I feel done for. I feel like it's over. I feel as if though there's no getting out of this, that I'm gonna forever perpetually just stay in this obsolescence, and upon walking around these streets as obsolete as I am, I will then inevitably shrivel up like a prune into a bitter older woman that is really very sad looking at everybody else that was able to live. And it all just feels very unfair to me. It feels sad. I keep getting bombarded by dreams of basically just showing me, okay, how can I describe this? Look, I'm harassed by the same thing, and like day and night the same thing is after me. Day and night the same thing is pursuing me, and it's hard to talk about it over and over again, because I feel just as obsolete as I feel like the topic of conversation is also in and of itself obsolete. Like I've been speaking about this for a minute, and if this is what's going to consume me whole, eat me whole, make out of me breakfast, lunch and dinner, then yo, like I seriously don't know what to do. I've been waiting on God, and I look at him and I'm like, are you really gonna let me be obsolete just like that? Because there are people that tried to obsolete me up, and it worked. Like, how are you gonna give him that? How are you gonna, like, I just keep looking at God on some, how are you gonna give him that? How did you just give my ex-boyfriend this? Like, you literally awarded it to him on a silver platter, like he is a psychopath and he got what he wanted. How are you gonna give a complete stranger that does not know me, that guy from the US, what he wanted? Like, how are you gonna make me obsolete so that in his lifetime, an evil man that buried his ex-girlfriend will say to himself, at least, even though she embarrassed me, she humiliated me, at least I never got to mourn or cry when she went on to be merry with somebody else, when she went on to be happy with some other guy. How are you gonna just give them that? I feel obsolete. I feel absolutely obsolete. I watch a lot of hair content on YouTube. I love hair. Y'all know that, right? And they give me all these ideas. This was inspired by a whole bunch of these chicks that do hair videos on YouTube. And I found myself getting so heartbroken. Some of the girls are so good at what they do, or I just take a liking to them more than others, such that I would watch more of the videos than other people. You know, like one chick, I'll watch a video and I'll like her so much that I'll just keep going into the next advice that she has to give about what's going on with twists or mini braids or whatever, okay? And a lot of the hair content creators on YouTube are young women, okay? Black 4C hair content creators, they're like, a lot of them are like in their 20s, okay? Yes, there are women who are not in their 20s, but it appears to me like the larger majority of them are in their 20s. I don't know, that might not be accurate. Maybe there's others who are older, but frankly, the ones that I keep on crashing into on YouTube are women in their 20s. And I watch their content. The advice they give is really good concerning hair, okay? And some of the videos that are on YouTube about hair are also old, like 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 7, 10 years ago that this person uploaded this video. You'll be shocked, like surprised that, oh, I'm watching a video that's this old. It's so relevant, this information today, that I would have imagined it was done yesterday, but I guess that's just the nature of social media. Videos stay there for like ever and a day. It's like a cloud, an archive space or something for you to be able to watch something from long ago. So this information is new to me, even though it's old news for these particular content creators. But before you come to learn that the videos that you're watching are old, like 4 years ago, 10 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, before you come to learn that, you think the video is current until you click on the exact same content creator's video that has recently uploaded something like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 days ago, and you notice a massive difference in the way they look, all right? Like, as in, this person has aged from perhaps 21 to 29, or they've aged from 16 to 23, or yeah, so you can see that there's like a difference in the way that they look in the face, and you're like, oh, she's grown. But something has been killing me inside softly. Like, it's just been butchering me. It's been having me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is the observation of things that happen when people grow up. When people get older, when they move from being teenagers in high school to being young adults, or when they move from being young adults to being older young adults, or you know, headed for middle age, when they enter their late 30s, when they enter their 30s, even from their 20s, etc. Yeah, when you observe a young woman in her entering her prime, going through those years, the years where there is the most activity in a person's life in terms of essentially acquiring a legacy, acquiring a new identity, that would not be hard to watch for me, like even in the slightest, if I was not just stuck, like just sitting. Like I said, I feel obsolete. So these content creators that I've been watching the videos of, these young ladies, yeah, one in particular, I loved her mini braids, or was it mini twists? I loved her mini twist or mini braids video, whatever that she was doing, and I loved what it is that she did over there, right? And when I watched that video of hers where she was counseling on mini braids, she looked a particular way, and the video I came to learn only after I clicked on her more recent content that it was done 4 years ago. I did not look that it was done 4 years ago. Okay, this chick was doing a vid about how to install, upkeep, what do you call this? Maintain mini braids, how long you can keep them for, blah blah. And I love the video, right? And she in that video looked like she could have been like university age. She looked like a university student. Okay, yeah, she looked like she could have been a university student, a type establishment thing. I watched it, I enjoyed the video, and then I click on a fitness video of hers. I realized that, oh, I liked her. I took a liking to her as a person just generally. And then one of the recommended videos at the end of her videos was something along the lines of my fitness journey. And it came with pictures and everything. And I also have like a fitness journey. So I clicked on that because I'm also interested in fitness, right? I also am interested in fitness, not just hair. It's some of the videos that I check out. You guys know that I've said it before, that my niches, the general niches I tend to consume every single day on YouTube are hair, lots of hair content, every so often fitness, of course gospel content, and covers. I love watching singing covers as well on YouTube, so I will get recommended stuff like that quite a lot, and I'll click on it. And also dance, like, yeah, because I like dance type thing. Yeah, okay, cool, very well. Now that you've banked that, I came to learn that this same chick has a fitness journey. She's been trying to get fit, or she's trying to lose weight or gain it, or whatnot. I think she was trying to gain weight type thing, and also develop muscle, etc. So when I saw that recommendation, I clicked on it to see, okay, let's see what she's doing, how she's coming along on her journey, and what her strategies are, and what she eats, blah blah. And when I clicked on it, my heart sank so much, guys. I got so heartbroken, and I was like, this is not supposed to be happening. I'm not supposed to be getting hurt by seeing stuff like this. I'm not supposed to be low-key wishing that everybody was in an icicle frozen little position just like me. That everybody should just be exactly the same thing 4 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later that I have been in. Because I've literally been in this stagnant, frozen position for a decade, ever since 2014. It's 2024. It's going to be 10 whole years completely this year in November that I've been in this situation, and it's excruciating. It's very heartbreaking to be here. Y'all don't understand. Like, I'm just frozen in time. I'm like a Polaroid, like a photo, a snapshot. I've been in one frozen position for a decade, and nothing in my life has moved for a decade. And I keep looking at God, and I'm like, but why did you give them that? Like, why did you give these animals what they wanted? I mean, they're the perps. They're what's wrong with the world. They're everything that's problematic with the planet. They're those jealous freaks that sabotage colleagues in the office. They're those people that everybody cannot catch a break because of. Why are you giving them that? Did you not say in your word that you will not allow us to be put to shame? that you are not going to allow us to be condemned when brought to trial? How you gonna let an ex-boyfriend that is very much still in the world, a pagan, prosper to shatter the glory of you sending your daughter through life, her marrying her off, giving her children, giving her grandchildren, you know, the whole thing that happens to a lifestyle? How are you gonna go allow the smothering of your glory as God on earth through a servant of yours that chose you, somebody that chose you and so wants to carry a flashlight, a torch in this world of your grace, to show the world what you do in your disciples? How are you gonna let a dim person, like somebody who is dark, someone who takes glory from a room, someone who switches off the light when they come in, someone who is extracting, as with a straw, life inside a person, the blood they're in, like a vampire? How are you gonna let someone so shadowy prosper to take your torch from society? Was I not the better ambassador? Was I not the better person to proliferate or promulgate? Like, was I not the better option to linger for your glory, for your sake, for your own name's sake? If not for me, let it be for your own name's sake. How are you just letting me sit here in obsolescence while some animal goes on to grab a wife that he's breaking the heart of because he's still focused on his ex-girlfriend, and he went and had children with her, acted like he was doting and adoring of this woman while he was actively surveilling an ex-girlfriend that he was making sure is going nowhere? I know witchcraft does not always work, God. Why? Because nobody would live if it was working. These guys are freaks. They're ridiculous and they bewitch everything they can in these streets. So no one would live. No one would be okay if witchcraft thrived as it desires to. Every spell, every wand that they wave in the sky, if at all they waved it and witchcraft was successful all the time, literally absolutely nobody would get anywhere in this world. No one would have children. No one would deliver pregnancies peacefully. Nobody would be able to raise children past the age of 0.7. Nobody would get anywhere because these people bewitch everything they can. They stand up against everything. There would be no successful wedding day, I promise you. There would be no successful wedding day. There would be nobody that wakes up on their wedding day and goes through the morning, afternoon, and evening successfully, swimmingly, and then go to honeymoon thereafter if witchcraft successfully worked against everybody. So just because the world is still a going concern, just because it's still spinning around in its axis, just because of the fact that the sun rises and sets every single day, that tells me, and also just because the plants are still green and shoots of flowers are still blossoming, that tells me that witchcraft does not work 100% of the time. There are some spells that you just don't allow to operate. So given that it doesn't always work, why did you let it work on me? Why did you allow these people to get basically the fizzling away of a person, the eradication, completion of a human soul? Like, to just go and grab a woman that wanted you, she chose you, she got out. Like, literally, I got out. I left the world. I was 26 when I came to Christ, just 26 and a half when I came to Christ. I escaped. I dodged a bullet. I got out and I made a determination from that quarter life to follow Jesus, and you let them snuff me out. Am I not supposed to be a city on a hill? Am I not supposed to be mounted somewhere pinnacled, basically shining your light, being salt, being light? Why am I not allowed to thrive a YouTube channel? Why can I not speak my truth? Why am I not able to share my testimony in a way that's going to be heard, in a way that's going to be embraced, in a way that's going to be celebrated by people who might very potentially be blessed by it? It is not as if though nobody is prepared to listen to me, because God, you remember a time when, just as I was starting out on social media trying to grow my content on Facebook, I grew to 1,000 followers within 2 months. And then all of a sudden, I was stopped. All of a sudden I was stopped. And I'm still sitting on that 1,000 followers a year later. So I've been frozen in one position for an entire year. 2 years now. I started on my YouTube. I grew about 300 subscribers over about 2 months. I mean 300 subscribers per month. I grew about 300 subscribers per month at some point. I was growing 300 subscribers minimum average per month. So by now I should be sitting on thousands of followers. I should by now, seeing as I've been all up in this joint for 2.5 years now. I should at this stage be sitting on, just under 10,000 followers on YouTube. By now, I should be, if at all that growth trajectory had been maintained. But then one day, all of a sudden, it stopped. And these things suddenly ceased to, happen for me. I suddenly just stopped moving when certain things happened, when certain people came at me with these darknesses. You know it. So basically, you're giving them success and prosperity and making them feel as if though, if I just stop something, it'll stop. If I block something, it'll block. Why in the world under heaven am I like one who is in the grave, in the ground, and there's like 1 or 2 people that are rocking up putting flowers on my grave, and those 1 or 2 people who are putting flowers on my grave are trying to make me feel as if though I'm the only way, they're the only way that I can live. I've got 2 men in particular that have got lofty ambitions where I'm concerned. My ex-boyfriend and some dude from the US of A. And the 2 of them are at loggerheads with each other, literally trying to get the same woman. And the thing that is motivating them to feel as if though this is actually feasible is the observation of how frozen and stagnant I am. In other words, they feel as if though their sorcery is working. And it's only a matter of time since I was frozen into oblivion by them. And they're not the only ones who froze me. But they are by far the most insistent and ambitious where I am concerned. To be with them romantically. They feel as if though it's theirs to keep. Like, I'll never love again. Like, what is this? First come, first served. Like, they, like, what do I want to say? Competing to viability. They look at me as somebody that is viably going to one day, just like successfully, ultimately, be either of theirs. And so it's a matter of competition between the 2 of them. Yeah, I have had other people come at me with a flying kick, other men, right? But they have very not quickly, some of them it took a couple of months, but they ultimately just walked away from, they moved on like blackjacks being picked out of a jersey when you get home after walking through a bush. They ultimately fell off. But then there's 2 that just remain imaginative of being neck on neck with each other for me, because they have made out of me an obsolete woman that no other man is looking at. And my thing with that is, I know God. Deep down inside, with every bone in my body, I am aware that, that witchcraft does not work. Not, especially against Christians. So why are you allowing these people to steal the shine of your daughter until she feels obsolete? And again, why under heaven are you allowing so much darkness to overwhelm the light? Did you not say that, in him, that Jesus is the light, and in him, and his light is the light of the world? And the darkness comprehended it not. The darkness could not comprehend the light. So essentially, the light is what drives out the darkness. I mean, that's littered all across the scriptures. Light drives out the darkness everywhere where it is at. It always overwhelms. If you switch on a matchstick in the middle of the night, the attention of everything around is going to go towards that matchstick, even though the surrounding environment is cloaked in night. Light always drives out darkness, and the darkness never is able to comprehend it. So how is this darkness of night overwhelming the light? Like, you are, one of 2 things is happening here. You're disregarding me as your daughter altogether. You're saying I'm not yours. You're saying I am not your child. And so therefore you don't recognize me as light. And so you allow the darkness to overwhelm me, or there must be something else that's going on here. But one thing that is certainly true is that witchcraft does not always work. And maybe that's the reason why these people are like blackjacks on wool on me. Maybe that's why they're so obsessed where I am concerned. Perhaps the reason why they're lingering for dear life over my case is because I am by far the most successful case that they have ever been dealing with, that they've ever dealt with for sorcery. They, all along, they've just been hitting, striking everywhere where they're striking with whatever they can strike, and they've won some and lost some. They are every so often prosperous, whereas in other respects they don't get what they need. And so where it is that they have failed some of the time and prospered some of the time, they have given up because they realize that I am apparently, allegedly, like what do you call this? Like the perfect experimentation hub, like the environment, like the ecosystemic factors that contribute to my existence have made me what is imagined a breeding ground for their sorcery, like some kind of a successful climate, a successful environment for their sorcery to work. Like, you've made them believe that I am spiritually very susceptible in a way that many other people aren't, when I should not be so spiritually susceptible. I should not be so spiritually susceptible, given that I'm a Christian. I should, if anything, be one of the hardest cases that they're working on, because we are the ones that they struggle the most with, because we've got the Holy Spirit. Witchcraft does not work on Christians because we're born again. We've got the Holy Spirit. But sometimes it doesn't work even on unbelievers because God just doesn't want it to work on them. Do you understand? The Lord is just not interested that they should get what they want in that regard. And so because sometimes the Lord is just very simply flat out just like, no, I'm not going to let you get this. Yeah. even on unbelievers, it doesn't work. So these people feel as if though I've got the right and proper environment to thrive their darkness. How can I even describe this? It's like mold or fungi. Yeah, let's use mold or fungi. Like if you grab bread and you put it in, leave it in a bread bin for a week, it'll likely mold. Of course, that's exactly what's going to happen. But the darker the bread bin and the more humid the environment, the more moist the environment and the darker that bread bin and the deeper it is, the faster the mold is going to grow. So you could get mold on bread in 3 days, 4 days. Sometimes it could come in only after 2 weeks, depending on the environment that bread has been chilling in. In the refrigerator, it will be slowed down significantly. Outside on the kitchen counter, it'll be expedited as in comparison to the refrigerator. However, not as much as it would be expedited if it was put in a bread bin that is dark, and more so if at all the environment around is humid, more so is it going to fester. So basically what these people feel about me is that I am in a dark, damp environment. And so for those reasons, I am the feasible atmosphere to fester mold. And that is what it is that makes me feel obsolete. I feel like I'm moldy bread. I feel like people are lodging on me with all of their peach fuzz of mold because of the fact that they anticipate that what I am is the perfect breeding environment for witchcraft. I've been latched onto by parasites, do you understand, that have made an observation of my living conditions and imagine that I am a bullseye. I am a gavel dropped in favor of furthering their dark agenda, and they think I am like 10 for the price of 1. In other words, I am something that is first come, first served. It's quite pretty for something dumped. It is quite pretty for something abandoned, for something thrown away on the floor. It's pretty. Where else am I going to find this? Like a diamond in the rough, like a miner. Like if in South Africa, miners, I don't know about other countries, they're quite underpaid, and they are, not only are they low income citizens, but they also live in very lowly environments. However, they mine these gems, these minerals from the earth that are exceptionally valuable and that make their bosses, their owners, extremely wealthy. These miners are therefore, as a result of what it is that they are mining in the ground, gold, diamonds, whatever might be the precious mineral, the precious stone, etc. They therefore get searched. They get searched every single day when they go down into the shaft. When they come back up again, they get thoroughly searched to make sure that they're not leaving with any gold. They're not leaving with any diamonds. They're not leaving with it because and then they get paid this like chump change money. They get paid absolutely nothing in order for them to mine these things out. I feel as if though I am infested at the present moment by miners where there is no, what do you call this? There's no regulating authority in that environment that is making sure, searching them, sifting them, frisking them. There's nobody frisking them at their working premises where they work at the end of each day to make sure that they're not leaving with the diamonds in the rough, to make sure they're not leaving with the precious metals, with the precious stones, to make sure they're not going home with them. Yeah, I'm dealing with some pretty ransacky people, lackluster, absolutely shoddy and dark, involved in horrific acts against the God of the universe. I'm dealing with such people as these that have absolutely no business walking out with any gem because they have not been trained to handle gems. They've not been, they in and of themselves are not gems. They, you know how it is true that the only thing that can cut a diamond is a diamond because it's that hard type establishment thing. These people have not been in and of themselves mined out. In and of themselves, they've not been declared a precious stone because of having turned their lives over to God. They're dark. They're ominous. They're beastly. They're in the filth of this world's practices. And however, who does not want something of great value in their possession, whether or not they have earned it? Everybody wants the best of things, but it is not everybody that is prepared to work for them. It is not everybody that is prepared to, get down on the ground and get their hands dirty and their knees ashy in order that they might be elevated to the next level. People don't want to work. Yesterday I made a lament about that particular thing where I was using proverbs in the scriptures to describe laziness and how God says that a little sleep and a little slumber and a little folding of the hands to rest and poverty will overwhelm you like an armed man and scarcity like a bandit. You will get taken over by poverty when you sleep around, when you just sleep and do nothing. When you twist and turn on your bed like a door turns on its hinges, you are going to find yourself impoverished, right? That is what laziness achieves. Not very much for the person in question that is lazy. And so, if at all, that is the status quo, why, oh why, God, are you allowing all of these, essentially grubby-handed people to appear to be getting away with the possibility, it has not happened yet, of walking out of a mine with your gem. Like, they're literally walking out of a mine with your gem. They're about to walk out of a mine that they went in, being the gold diggers that they are, came into their jobs at a time when there was nobody policing or monitoring that particular area, because it was nighttime, for the very purpose of trying to very quickly get rich, very quickly attempt to get wealthy, so that you can stop working altogether, so you can relax basking in the sun of somebody very valuable in your life, so that you can get something in your life that's going to set you up for life, even though you don't work for it. So a whole bunch of freaking jewelry thieves, a whole bunch of, cash and transit heisters, people that are into random crime, literally think that I am something feasible for the grabbing, something feasible for the taking, precisely because of the fact that I am in so much want. The mine appears to be unlocked at night, and there are no security guards. There's nobody frisking anybody at the door, and these people who made an observation that the thing that they mined during the day has been left abandoned in the night, they then go into the mine and think that at night when we go, we can go and grab that diamond. Where are my guards? Where are my angels? Where under heaven is the horde around me that is supposed to make it clear to these miscreants that you can't just take what you want? You can't. But right now I appear to be taken from. Like, literally, they cast a spell on my YouTube channel and it freezes. They cast a spell on my Facebook page and it freezes. Like, why are you giving them what they want? Because here it is that your daughter now feels obsolete. Here it is now that your daughter feels obsolete, and it is precisely that obsolescence that I feel like I am that is making them feel like they're one step closer to getting what they want from me. I am frustrated by filthy men. I am frustrated by entitled people. I am frustrated by those who imagine it's only a matter of time before I finally take what they will bring my way. There is this song, Mary J. Blige, that has been on a loop, going and going ever since I met that beastly animal from America. It's been going and going and going at the top of my mind, and every time I wake up to hear that song, my heart gets so broken, because I'm like, God, how long am I gonna make war with this? How long are you going to keep me frozen? I mean, it's obvious that something ominous happened. About 2 years ago, I was growing about 300 subscribers every single month, and I was getting traction. My shorts were getting viewed. Now I upload a short, and I literally, after 2 weeks, had 0 views. 0 views. Shorts. Under 60 seconds. And I get no views on a short, not even one person viewing it. Never mind liking. I mean, you don't gotta like, you don't gotta comment. Just look at it at all. Like, they don't even get viewed at all. And these are shorts not only in my ministry, but also in my fitness. That's why I stopped doing fitness shorts. I just stopped doing everything, because for me it's like, if I can just put what is the minimum amount of work that I can put out there without feeling exasperated, given that I'm not getting anywhere, then I'm best. So it's about not being silenced altogether. So I don't want to burn out. And as a result of not wanting to burn out, I have had to reduce the amount of work that I do. Precisely because it's going nowhere. There is no motivation. There is nothing encouraging me to keep pushing. Nothing encouraging me to keep going, precisely because of the fact that I literally can do a short, edit it for a good 45 minutes, following which I would upload it on Facebook or YouTube, and it will get no views. It's just weird. The thing about it is, I am aware that social media shadow bans people. I'm aware that social media can do that, but there is no shadow banning that can prevent a person from being seen at all. They just restrict your traffic, but they don't shut it off altogether. So I cannot blame YouTube entirely for this, and neither can I blame Facebook entirely for this, even though I do think that to a certain extent censorship has something to do with it. But even with censorship, there is small traffic coming through to you. I get nothing. That's what you need to understand. Who in the world uploads like 15 shorts and not even one of them gets viewed? It's weird. And for me, all I can conclude is, okay, so it's witchcraft. We get it. Sometimes these things, you allow them to work, that you might hand people over. But why are you doing that with me? Why have you dimmed my light? Why have you allowed these shoddy, creepy, spooky creeps? Literally, they are running a horror show where they are enduring or subjugating people to the tyranny of being in a cycle of a horror movie 24 hours a day. You're giving them what they want. They're like sitting in these corners and they're a spectacle. However, you've made out of me a spectacle because I appear to be bewitchable when I am a Christian. Have you no adoration for your name, God? Like, it's about your fame. It is about your fame. It is about your name. If at all you are not going to do this for me, do it for you. Do it for yourself, for your own name's sake, because I am your disciple. What are people thinking? What are people thinking? What is anybody at all that watches my content that wanted my betterment? People who wanted me to be okay. What hope are they holding on to? How hard is it for them to keep on supporting me? How difficult is it for anybody to stick by a person that has absolutely nobody coming through for them? I mean, it's hard when you're the only supporter of an ostracized, marginalized person, because at some point you're going to get tired. At some point you're going to get exhausted from supporting somebody that nobody else seems to be looking at. Everybody got to go live their own lives. Everybody has got to go and proliferate their own agenda in these streets, and it's very rough to stand by the side of somebody that has been completely marginalized and ostracized by sorcery. You cannot leave me to be sat in this dark, dingy, dungeon, alone with men that feel like little deities where I'm concerned. They've made themselves God, and they want to convince me that no one is coming. So take me. Men of which, some of whom, are literally dying from diseases. They've got venereal diseases from here to Timbuktu, and they want to come and take a pure woman that hasn't had sex in 12 years. 12 years. They just want to run with her. Like miners that make an observation of the precious metals or precious gems, precious stones that they mine daily, and tell themselves, we're going to go back at night and steal some diamonds, and we'll be set for life and we'll never have to come back and work in the mine again. Imagine a man that gets a wife like that when he is dark, he is filthy, he is dingy, he is involved in occult magic, he is the darkness of the dark. Do you understand? And then he gets a super godly wife. He gets a super godly wife only because she was exhausted, 40 years old, and imaginative of her being obsolete. She was just tired of fighting. And so she gave herself to a prolific Satanist that sat her down for a whole decade in order to make sure that nobody but him is regarded as the only person she could ever love. When you create that kind of a spooky horror movie, when you are It the Clown, Jason and Friday the 13th alongside Freddy Krueger all in one, how in the world under heaven do you imagine that you're going to be okay tomorrow? And secondly, God, how in the world you going to go let Jason from Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, Annabelle, the spooky doll, It the Clown, and any kind of horror movie you can find in these streets, The Grudge, how you going to let The Grudge properly take over your daughter? I mean, it's one thing for The Grudge to take over some pagan lady that don't know you from a bar of soap, but what? I am your child. I am your daughter. How are you going to subjugate me to all of this sadness, all of this sorrow, all of this want, all of this, this despicable hiddenness of my person? Now, how under heaven are you going to let men think that the day is going to arrive, that are going to put a ring on my finger because nobody else appeared to be prepared to put one on me? How in the world are you going to make a woman that believed herself to be, I guess, a viable enough woman for at least one soul on the earth that is honest to want to marry her? How are you gonna make a woman like that get to a point where she thinks the only option that she has is literally Freddy freaking Krueger? Freddy Krueger. I gotta go and marry some devil worshipper because that appears to be the only thing that's looking at me. Why did you let these people take my YouTube channel? Why did you let them silence me? Why did you let them spook me like this? Why under heaven, when I am your Christian, are you allowing me to sit around in obsolescence when I know that this is not witchcraft, because it can't be, otherwise nobody would live? It's not sorcery. This is something you've allowed, but at some point I get exasperated, I get exhausted. At some point I get worn out. I used to have an audience, I used to have people that used to listen to me, follow me, subscribe me, 300 a month. Some of them would even write me personal emails in my, Gmail. I had a very active social media presence, life, and I was growing. And by now, I'd be sitting likely on maybe just about 10,000 subscribers. I would have already monetized. I might even have a small little apartment by now. That's what's good. I would have gotten there, but it was all frozen. It was stopped, and you let it. When everything that I work hard for in you just gets I just get taken from, things just get extracted from out of my hands. Everything I start. How am I supposed to just keep going? How am I supposed to just keep thinking that this is going to get better when everything I speak about that gets bewitched is bewitchable? Everything. It appears as if though when the only reason why I have confidence to even rock up and speak here is because I believe in a God that is shielding my words. I don't believe in all of these doctrines of demons flying around in the Christian community where people speak about monitoring spirits. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you do. Don't tell everybody your plans because next thing they might come at you with monitoring spirits. I'm sorry, who in the world lives like that tiptoeing around the kingdom of darkness? Who tiptoes around the kingdom of darkness and is truly a saint? Ain't nobody. Nobody should be tiptoeing. If at all, I have a celebratory note to put forward. I am going to share it. It's what you must understand, because it's clearly stipulated in the word of God that we overcome the devil by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. We conquer Satan by telling the world what God is doing for us. So it is quite the contrary, really, according to Jesus. This doctrine of what do they call it? Monitoring spirits is straight from the pit of hell. The Lord wants us to shout on the rooftops that which He has done for us, that which has been spoken in secret. He wants us to shout it on the rooftops. We cannot be secretive, clandestine people, because that which is dark is that which gets done in a clandestine fashion. However, those who are honest and above reproach, they speak on rooftops. They are able to gladly, like peacocks, flutter their feathers and let the world see it. God adores His glory, and He wants the whole world that is full of His glory to see His glory in His servants. So there is no such thing as the Lord wanting us to basically smother our testimonies. No, He does not want us to keep quiet when we meet great men. He doesn't want us to keep quiet when we get great jobs. He doesn't want us to keep quiet when we acquire great breakthrough in whatever region just because we're scared of a coven next door. So I have been honest and transparent about everything that's going on in my life, precisely because I believe in a God that glories Himself in the glory of His children. He wants us to be His ambassadors on the earth as we carry torches, flashing heaven to everybody. It is the kingdom of darkness that hides everything. They hide their spells, their incantations. They don't even admit what they're into. They don't even admit they belong to the devil. They're not. They would much rather cloak themselves in a veil of Christianity than confess that they are witches. They are the ones that always hide in the darkness. So I'm not about to go and withhold information that God has given me, and also the glory that the Lord has awarded me in whatever respect. I'm not about to go and hide it because I'm scared some witch might just bewitch it. But sadly for me, for the past couple of years, I have been speaking things that God has shown me, things, that ideas, plans that I've got. I've been sharing them, and all of a sudden I get frozen. It happened with my fitness channel. I spoke about how it is that I'm going to grow my fitness channel, blah, blah, whatever. Follow me there if you want to go and follow me in my fitness channel. And guys, it also got frozen. It's just like dead quiet. The last 2 videos that I uploaded of my fitness, 0 views in like what, 2 weeks? I'm like, what in the world? What is going on? It is obviously diabolical and satanic, and God has allowed it. There is no way He has not allowed it, and that is the bone that I'm trying to pick right now. And what I'm trying to understand is, why have you allowed me to look obsolete and to look like the meat that is about to get consumed by some pretty filthy animals? How in the world are you gonna give my ex, like, how are you gonna do that though? Like, this man did not even suit me from the very get-go. I wasn't supposed to be with him. How are you gonna give him that? Like, if at all he didn't want to mourn and cry on the day that his ex-girlfriend married another man, he was not supposed to mess up with me in the first place, but he did that. And that's just what happens in life. You have to wear consequences of your actions when you walk in darkness. But he walked in darkness. He kept on bewitching me throughout our relationship, and now 10 years later, he's looking like the whole prolific, successful devil worshipper that thoroughly went and prevented his very beautiful ex-girlfriend from even getting looked at by one man for a whole decade, for real. Not even one honest man. Every guy that's ever pursued me ever since I came to Christ has been into the darkness. The darkness, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like he has just sent nothing but devil worshippers my way. Why did you let that prosper? Why did you let wicked men and women take away a decade of my life? It's questions I've been asking. So when I was watching those videos on YouTube of these young women on the come up, that reminded me of me back when I guess I was on the come up too. Type establishment thing. One of them was she looked like she could have been a student in university age type thing, and I really liked it. I took a liking to her. I loved her, what do you call this, like mini braids and whatnot, and it was after her mini braid video that I got encouraged to do my own type establishment thing. Okay, so we like her, we subscribe to her very well, support a young lady, grow her channel. Yeah, it is what it is. But then when I clicked on a video of when I first saw her, it was 4 years ago. That first video that I saw, well, I didn't watch it 4 years ago, I watched it recently, but it was done 4 years ago. I then clicked on her video later on her fitness journey that was done like just 2 months ago, and I noticed on the face that she was all grown up. She had grown out of that young little baby face. She had grown out of it, and she now looked like a mature woman. She looked, in all honesty, she looked like me, but then again, I look very young for my age. I'm 39, but I look like 27, 8. You know what I mean? Yeah, she looked about 27, 8, right? And having been what looked like maybe 2019 at the earliest, 21, 2 at the latest in the last video that I saw her in, she was now a 26, 7, 8-year-old woman. Now, 4 years later, 5 years later, in the new YouTube videos, and looking like me, I was like, whoa, you've grown. She got out of her Afro phase, the hair content that she was doing for Afro. She's out of it now. She's doing dreads. So her hair is now dreaded. She is no longer sporting Afro. Yeah. And I was like, oh, so you changed your look. Okay, cool. But then the thing that broke my heart, and you see, I shouldn't be brokenhearted. I should be glad. I should be happy. I should be like, oh, look at that. I never used to be like that. And for me, it's like, God, these people are giving me a new personality. Please, like, quickly come through for me. Have mercy on me. They are messing with my heart in a way that my heart was not like that before. My heart was not like that. I was never that jealous freak. I promise you, I never was. I was never the girl that does not like the success of other girls. I was never the person that is low-key wishing you must be just exactly what I am, because that's what's going on. And when I saw that creeping up on me, when I saw it pouncing on me, I was like, God, do you not see that things are getting dire for me right now? Do you not see that I am struggling to be happy for women? Are you not seeing that? Like, why in the world are you not, for your own namesake, rescuing me? For the piety that you insist I stay in, have mercy on me. Have mercy on my heart. Have mercy on my soul. Have mercy on my holiness. Have mercy on my ability or lack thereof to stay holy. Because I do not want to be the very thing I keep on, like, preaching against. Women who become bitter because they've been hurt, and their bitterness makes them hate the youth. It makes them hate young women. It makes them look at young women with, like, low-key, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, when you look at people with bad, like, ill intention, like a bad vibe, like you don't want them to get something. Like when you cross your fingers that someone doesn't get the promotion. When you cross your fingers that someone does not get a good man. When you cross your fingers that somebody with her boyfriend don't end up being fiancés and then married. When you cross your fingers that somebody does not get the thing that they hope for. When they study like a dog and you cross your fingers that they fail the exam anyway. I've literally never been that girl. I mean, everybody has their vices, all right? Everybody has something that they struggle with. But with me, one thing I have always managed to keep in a bunch is self-control over jealousy, even before I came to Christ. I have always wanted what is best for my friends, my family members, my colleagues. When people came to me with good news, I was literally, actually, genuinely happy. This thing that people are doing to me, I don't understand it. It is so anomalous. It's out of this world. It's otherworldly. I don't get it. I don't understand how somebody can secretly want somebody destroyed. Like, yeah, until it crept up on me. Like, I'm getting emotional as I speak right now. It crept up on me for the first time in a decade. And I'm like, never mind in a decade, first time in my life. That kind of sentiment, I felt it welling up in my throat. I felt it welling up in my heart. And I was like, God, look at this thing is putting briars around my heart. It's putting thorns around my heart. It's making me evil. It's making me like, it's even written in Psalm 125. Is it 125 or 25? I stand corrected. But something along the lines of, the lot of the wicked, do not allow the lot of the wicked, or do not allow the, I actually want to look for it, like basically deliver your children, because if you don't deliver them, if you allow them to linger in the lot of the wicked, if you allow them to linger in some kind of a bad position, they will be inclined towards evil. What is that? Is it 125? No, I'm pretty sure it's not Psalm 125. Or is it 23? Is it Psalm 23? I wish I could find it, man. Like, I really, like, let me just read it. Like, look, basically something along the lines of, do not leave the righteous at the hands or at the mercy of the wicked, because then their hearts will be inclined towards evil. Do not leave the righteous for an indefinite amount of time in the hands of evil men and evil women. Otherwise, in and of themselves, they will turn. It's also written in Matthew 24. That if the Lord did not cut the days of the tribulation short, no flesh would be saved. The reason why that's the case is because wickedness, evil, when it lingers for too long an amount of time, people eventually start to imagine there is no God, or they anticipate that he's not coming through for them. They want to take matters into their own hands. It becomes very difficult to continue to trust. That's what I'm getting at. It becomes rough to continue to trust an invisible God when he has left you lingering in a lot of sorrow for an extended period of time. So even the psalmist petitions God that don't allow the lot of the wicked to rest on me for too long, lest my heart should be inclined towards evil. Lest my heart should be inclined towards evil. It is imperative. It is written in his word that the Lord will not suffer us to be tempted beyond what we are able. He's not going to let us suffer beyond what it is that we can take in our stride. And so when then you feel as if though you're about to exceed that, if the Lord did indeed allow for the exceeding of that threshold, we as some of the most pious Christians that have been the most consecrated to Jesus in the world would ultimately become some pretty evil people. We would, because man is not We are not supposed to stay in attrition for an indefinite amount of time. Why? Because we are born dead in trespasses and sins, and in sins that our parents conceive us. So basically there is nothing good in us. No one that does good, no one. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And after we get born again, when there is the circumcision of our hearts, we now have been given the Holy Spirit, who, according to Romans 7, we make war with this body of death. And that war was never intended for it to be an indefinite war. It was never intended to be a war that you are fighting for. And even the Lord said that he will not strive with mankind for more than 120 years, because we literally struggle to be good and pious towards him. We struggle to stay good towards God. We struggle not to sin, even when we are born again. So the Lord must deliver us by a certain time in order for us to be maintained. And seeing as it's written in John 10 that the Lord will not allow any one of us to be plucked out of his hands, it therefore must mean that at some point a suffering saint's suffering has got to end. Whether it be by martyrdom, so death, or by God delivering that saint out from the hands of his or her enemies. Because if the Lord kept that saint in that state indefinitely, excelling beyond that which they are able to take in temptation, they would tarry from God, they would walk away. They would hate God. They would end up being like, you don't care about me. Tests are not intended to last forever. That's why there is a start date, basically an allocated time even to examinations in a school. As a student, you cannot just write an exam for 2 days straight without a break. That's how you will fail it. You will literally fail. If at all that exam just lingers and lingers without you taking a break, without you relaxing your mind, without you relaxing your body, without you taking a sleep. And I have been awake, like on a loop 24 hours a day, non-stop for 2 years. Abused by some beastly animal from America, and now recently he's been joined by my ex-boyfriend. More and more of these men feel like they can enter the arena and basically vouch for me because I am something at Dampilong Isilwe. I am being bombarded by bandits trying to do a cash and transit heist, and all I can ask is, God, where are you? Where are you? Why under heaven are you letting me suffer like this? Because look at me innocently watching a hair video on YouTube, and then I make a discovery of what's going on in my heart, that something new has come to lodge in there, because mold is growing now in what is, of course, a damp, dark environment where fungi, of course, can grow. There is fungi growing on my heart. There is something ugly happening inside me. I can tell that it's there, and it is growing fever. It's getting hot. The temperatures of it are rising, and I do not know how to stop it because I appear to be unable to help it. And on top of that, there is an escalating climate of persecution against my person by my family members. I am not getting out of this, and it's making me embittered. And I am only discovering the bitterness that dwells inside me when I watch certain content on YouTube, and I can't watch it the way that I used to be able to watch it before without walking in so much envy and basically ill intention against innocent people. Do not let me be those monstrous, beastly females who, because men crushed them, who because they got divorced, who because they messed up their lives, or who because whatever might have been the thing that can cause a woman to be beastly, they then decided to take matters into their own hands and become monstrous. And now they hate young women. I can't be that girl. My whole ministry is premised around protecting young women. How in the world are you gonna let me get darkened? When I was watching this woman's content, you guys, I came to see that she had matured and gotten a little bit older. And I was like, oh, you've grown up. And then as she was flailing her hands around all over the show in her video, I saw that she had a wedding ring. I was like, what the heck? Like, I'm the only one sitting here going nowhere. Only one sitting here going nowhere. This chick 4 years ago was a little child doing YouTube videos for the first time with only 6,000 subscribers. Now she's sitting on like 132,000 subscribers or something. She's grown quite handsomely ever since then. Congratulations for her. But over and above, growing to over 100,000 subscribers. So she's got that silver plaque now, chilling in her bedroom likely. She, over and above it, has since then also had a wedding. Since then, she's gotten married. Since then, she's met a man. Since then, the man has made an honest woman out of her. Since then, she has gotten married. And she was talking in the video about how it is, since it was a fitness video, she was trying to gain weight. This chick, not so much lose it, right? Because she was she didn't like how skinny she was. And she was talking about how women keep telling her, just wait until you fall pregnant. Because when you fall pregnant, you will finally then break out of that skinny body of yours that you don't like. And she was like, girl, I'm currently now trying to gain weight. I don't want to wait until then type thing. So I need to find an alternative to gain weight before I plan my first child. And everything that she was saying broke my heart so much that I got out of the video before I finished even watching her fitness journey. I didn't want to finish it. Why? Because I was hurt by the fact that, okay, 4 years ago, this chick was just a cute little young 6,000 subscriber YouTuber doing content about hair. And now 4 years later, She's a married woman, thoroughly even talking about having a baby in the future, in the near future. And Karabo is just sitting here as a 39-year-old woman, looking at this young woman that has progressed from there to there, from there to now, what it is that she is today. And my heart was not glad for how much she grew. Like, you know, when you watch little girls growing up in front of you and you're like, oh, you've grown so much, you've grown so big. When are you going to meet a man? When are you going to give me grandchildren? Like, the society that is normal longs for kids to go through those phases, as it is expected of them to go through them successfully. They look at a young girl in high school and they're like, oh, you've grown into such a beautiful young woman. Oh, are you going to go to college? Are you going to go to university? And then they go to university. Oh, you've graduated. Are you going to get married? Are you going to get... Like, we want that for them. But then when you want everybody to stay, like, in basically high school mode, because you're in high school mode, that is unacceptable. And there are people who are literally that freaking irresponsible with human lives. They are that unreasonable with people's lives because they are in older years now completely defeated. Everything has been ripped from underneath their feet because of their own irresponsibility. And now they can't stand the youth growing up and doing what the youth do when they grow up. I was never going to be that girl. And I felt that creeping up on me. And my thing with it is, God, I know that there are women who get to a point where they are really super bitter about the fact that they did not get to walk down the aisle, about the fact that they did walk down the aisle but they married Ike Turner. He would not stop beating them up. Or they walked down the aisle but they married some cheating freak that ended up leaving them for their secretary. And so now they're embittered. But I waited on you because I basically foresaw. I looked into the future and I realized that, look, if at all I'm going to escape being my mother's daughter, if I'm going to escape being my grandmother's grandchild, if I'm going to escape being my aunt's niece, if I'm going to escape the grain of my family, if I'm going to escape the grain of the typical black girl experience, if I'm going to escape baby mama drama, if I'm going to escape the typicalities that dwell within my community, I have got to conquer generational curses, and I also have got to conquer them in the name above all names, and I've got to conquer them in a way that is impossible to overwhelm. I've got to be impervious. I've got to be an impregnable fortress, and there is no other way to become an impregnable fortress, seeing as I came to believe, other than the name of Jesus, other than in Christ. I knew this. I found out the truth. I knew that there is no name under heaven by which men must be saved other than the name of Christ, and I believed. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. I gave my life to you because I know that you're God. There's no way you're not. I am pretty convinced with that in a thorough capacity. There is no shifting shadow of doubt in me concerning that. And given that you are the God of the universe, you obviously have power to just humiliate everyone that tries to bring me low. You have got power to show everybody that no, not on my watch. This is my daughter. You can go and steal everything around here in these streets, but not her. You said in your word, and you're a man. You're not a man that you should lie. Neither son nor man to change your mind. You said that 1,000 may fall on your side and 10,000 on your right hand, but it will not come near you. That these things will plague everybody else. Labatagati, they will steal from everybody else. They will thoroughly proper to pull the rug from underneath the feet of everybody else. These deadbeat ex-boyfriends that hold their own exes hostage for the rest of their days, that'll come to some other woman, but not the one who chooses you. Not you. You said 1,000 will fall on my side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near me. So if you're not doing this for me, do it for your own name's sake, for your own word. Display that your word is true about your disciples. Because if at all, people are not awarded breakthrough that have trusted in you after a very long amount of time of waiting, they will be inclined towards evil. It's written in God's word, do not grow weary of doing good, but trust that in due season you will reap the peaceful fruit of righteousness if you don't give up. But God, how do you expect me not to give up when I am being pursued by a salivating Amnon as Tamar, a man that wants to ravage my body, following which they will leave me a spinster for the rest of my days? How are you going to let such freaks look at me? How, and Evan, is there not going to be a sword slapping my household because of a brother of mine that will be so upset at what happened to me that he will then try and coup his own or our own dad's throne as a result of the dad's indiscretion in completely ignoring the case or the cause or the plight of a virgin girl that was taken by a thief? Her purity. You know the story of Amnon and Tamar. I feel like Tamar. I am being salivated after by some pretty filthy men that want to burp after taking me. They just want to have sex with me and either move on or basically imagine themselves as ones who conquered the woman that didn't want anyone. The one who conquered the woman on a some salivating, like, what do you call this thing? Like occult men. Like these filthy men that are involved in darkness. They salivate after me and they're literally competing over who is going to finally get me. And once a man like that sleeps with a woman like me, I will literally become Tamar. I will become a plaque that is being shone and also seated. It'll get lodged, almost like a display of trophies in a cabinet, but like in the occult. Like if I end up with an occult man, you must understand I'm going to end up being a trophy, a plaque for a guy that is going to feel like nonke nizamile and you failed, but I was the only one umtholile. I'd say about wajesa. I'd say about he's into korobela. I'd say about wa lawyer. I'd say about he got his career and everything with all of this darkness, but somehow managed to slip one past me. But somehow, like the guy from the US almost got there. He was my fiance, for crying out loud. The one from California. That's what's good. A darkened man, and if he had married me, I promise you, he would have literally ran around these streets saying, I got to marry a woman even though I have 2 ex-wives and kids all over these streets, that was pious, consecrated, waiting on the Lord for a husband, and for, at the time it was 11 years, she had not had sex until I went in there. I slam dunked in her when she rejected all men like me, but I was so good. I was such an excellent smooth talker. I was so great at basically deceiving the living daylights out of a woman that she eventually took in her stride. Something that she had once upon a time said over my dead body, because I managed to convince her that nobody else is coming, nothing is coming. And besides, you're 37. At the time I made him, I was 37. I'm 39 now. You're 37. Where in the world are you going? Look at your biological clock. Tock, tick, tick, tick. That's what's going on. There was a time when I was prepared to settle for that guy, and the Lord is the one that ripped him out of my life. Precisely because he saw that once that guy slam dunks into me, I'm gonna be Tamar. A man that will have had the body of his own king, or of his sister. A man that would have had the body of his sister, following which he would have then left her, despised her more than he loved her at first. You know how it is written of Amnon, in the story of Amnon and Tamar, that Amnon, after sleeping with Tamar, after raping her, basically, he despised her more than he loved her. He ended up hating her because he got to eat and burp. He got to eat and burp. That's what men who feel entitled to women, who have not cleansed themselves, who have not made themselves pure, who have not consecrated themselves, who have not looked at God truly, who have not studied the Lord truly, who have not dared actually imagine what the Lord wants and his precepts. Men who are not glaring, looking lovingly and longingly, glaringly into the eyes of God. Yeah, that's how they feel about godly women. Allow me to just put that out there. They want to burp us. They want to heavily breathe on us, following which they will roll around, sleep, and burp, and then treat you like trash. I'm speaking Ike Turner to Tina. Men that will beat you up, like how there is, like they get used against you. I cannot say that enough. Women, when you feel like run, like you're a marathoner, like you're an athlete down the aisle, instead of walking, you will end up married to Amnon, a man that's going to be satisfied merely because of with the mere prospect of banking the chaste, godly woman that was a hard to get, but he prospered to get her. They are hunters, like hunting in the wilderness, and they urinate on women the way that animals urinate on their territory to market. They're not godly. They don't know how to love women as Christ loved the church. And ever since the guy from the US, the Lord, it clearly appears, he has been very protective of me to make sure that I don't end up with any such men as that. However, I'm only being looked at, sadly, by such men as these, and they feel as if though I am sitting in a dark, humid environment. I'm sitting in a dark, humid environment that is the festering, perfect, growing atmosphere for mold and fungi. And they are mold. They are fungi. They are those spores, and they are trying to grow on me. And I have been looking at the Lord on some, Father, get me out of this dark, damp, human place. These swamp things can only thrive around a swamp. I am chilling in a swamp, and I've been in one for a minute. And you said in your word that you don't want the righteous to linger in sorrow for too long, lest they should be inclined towards evil. The lot, or the rod, that's the word that I'm looking for exactly. I think it's 125 or 25. I'm still looking for that psalm. Is it Psalm? Okay, let me see if I can find it. The reason why I don't think it's 125 is because of the fact that that's the one that speaks about the God's children being like Mount Zion. It actually is. It's Psalm 125. Let's read it. Okay, it reads, "Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be moved, but abides forever. As the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people from this time forth and forevermore. For the scepter of wickedness shall not rest on the land allotted to the righteous, lest the righteous stretch out their hands to do wrong. Do good, O Lord, to those who are good, and to those who are upright in their hearts. But those who turn aside to their crooked ways, the Lord will lead away with evildoers. Peace be upon Israel." That psalm. That's the one that I'm leaning on some. God, do good to
these past
me.
Couple of years.
Do
is that I've
good.
not cut the opportunity.
Quiet-ish. Do good to me. Do good to me, because the scepter of the wicked appears to have been chilling on me for way too long. I know something happened with my YouTube channels, and the only reason why I keep on pushing is because I trust you're going to restore them, or you're going to rapture the church. None such thing has happened so far, and I cannot wait another year. I can't wait another 2 years because I am at the point where I'm so frozen. I'm living in such Antarctic conditions that if I don't get broken through out of this very quickly, one way or another, I will be turned. Because look at what happened to my heart the other day when I happened upon a young lady on YouTube that I subscribed to, whose life journey I got to watch in just a matter of days. Where it is that I saw her one day, Ali a particular thing, and the next day she was like a whole married woman having children, well, about to have children, and I am not able to do anything of that nature. I'm just frozen. Everybody sees me this year, and next year they see me in the same state. The year thereafter, same state, and it's making me feel obsolete. It like I have started, like, I feel like I'm not beautiful or worthy. Like nothing of me is worth taking up. Like everybody is getting married, and I look at all of these women and I'm like, but what is so different about you from me? When you start to look at things that way, you're in trouble. When you start to look at a woman and you're like, but why you and not me? When you start to look at other women like, why you and not me? That is a breeding ground for bitterness that is going to make out of you the bane of young women's existence. And I am not even a young woman. I'm 39 years old. And while the Lord says we must wait patiently, for we will reap in due season the peaceful fruit of righteousness if we don't give up. My thing is, God, you know what? It's not even about struggling to wait. It's about the fact that I am lonely. I am alone. I'm going nowhere. On top of that, I'm abused. I'm mistreated in my environment. Over and above it, I have nobody caring for me. My channel is frozen. I do all this work every single day. I do all these edits. I try very hard to keep myself in a bunch, and nothing goes nowhere. This level of frozenness, this level of isolation, ostracization, marginalization, this level of just how unsuccessful I am at everything I try is literally getting to me. Like, have mercy on me for your own name's sake. Have mercy on me. How can I be this unsuccessful, like you said in your word? That we are like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and our leaf does not wither, and all we do, we prosper. I am 100% certain that this is not witchcraft left unfettered. I am not a breeding ground for satanic idiots. I am not a breeding ground for muppets for the devil. I am not a humid environment that is dark and damp for the very purpose of the growth of mold to do its thing. I know that I'm not that thing. I am thoroughly aware that this is your work, God. You are sovereign. You have left me in this position because you are God. You are too holy and too sovereign and too omnipotent. You are too powerful to be overwhelmed by these charlatans in the occult. There is no way, because literally no Christian would have a YouTube channel above 1 subscriber, if at all. Jesus was not Lord. Is that basic? None of us would get anywhere. None of us would have more than 5 subscribers and 5 followers on Facebook. We might be getting shadow banned and censored. We might be getting our videos taken down and stricken. But like, there's enough of us for all of us to feel as if though at least we can still speak. And every so often, they still gain subscribers. I am frozen in a freaky, spooky way. And while I every so often feel like I must have an important job in the kingdom of heaven, that's why you are allowing this. Bottom line is, at the end of the day, I'm human. I'm human, and there is only so much I can take. There is only so much quietness and loneliness and solitude and isolation and ostracization, marginalization, complete disregard of my person, separated from other human beings, unable to touch and be touched by them. There's only so much of that I can take in my stride. So how you gonna let that freak go out there and have his babies, go out there and deceive his unfortunate wife into thinking he's in love with her? How you gonna let him get what it is that my life is? How are you gonna let that man age me 40, 45, 47, 50 with no children and no husband? How are you gonna let your glory just get taken from the earth just like that? I feel obsolete. I feel obsolete. How are you gonna let that bugger make me obsolete? He found the baddest chick in the game a good 12 years ago. Messed up with her. He messed up with her. In 2006, when we met, he messed up. He had 5 years to do what was right. And then Prosper Delivery take 10 years, a whole decade out of my life. How are you gonna give him that? I need to marry somebody. I need to go and have some children. Or I need to get raptured, or I need to just die from a heart attack. But please, do not let me die at the hands of these monsters by suicide. Don't let me go out like that. You are God. Show that you are God. Because right now, I feel obsolete. That's the thing that I've been saying to God. Those are the arguments I've been having with him the past few days. I was like, God, look at how it is that I ended up feeling about a chick on YouTube. A young woman growing up in front of us that got married. How in the world am I going to be so bitter over the joy and the prosperity and the glory of growing up by a young woman? Don't let me be that girl, please. I'm begging you. For the sake of your own name. Do not allow me to be one of those bitter bras that can't stand the glory of young women as they're going through their lives. I sought your face. I prayed. I groveled and I begged at your feet. Now I'm asking you to please take me out of South Africa, a country that ridiculously accepts this for the status quo amidst its citizens. I've been trying to get out. Something gotta give. Have mercy on me. I feel obsolete. I then remembered the story of Sarah. With Hagar. And with that, let's talk about that in the next part, because I can't have my videos be too long, above 1 hour.